Welcome to the 2021 Javelina 100. This is your official race brief. I'm your co-host, Jamil Curry.
And I'm your other co-host, Matt Feldick.
Great
Jamil,
to
how are
see
you doing?
Matt. I'm doing well. We are here in the Javelina studios, and we are excited to bring you guys this race brief. So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. You know, Javelina season is upon us, so, there's no mood but good.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. This race briefing is essentially a verbal audio video version of your runner guide. So if you've already downloaded and read through that many, many times, this might be a bit redundant, but we hope to also provide a little bit of color commentary and expansion upon these different sections. So we're going to kind of just roll right into that right now.
And we will have a couple updates to mention as well throughout the course of this video.
Definitely. And we'll probably touch on that right away. So if you watch this introduction, the one piece that has been updated in the last day is the wave start times for the 100 mile. So initially we were envisioning having an elite wave that started at 6 o'clock, and then your first sub 24 hour wave at 6:15, and then everyone else at 6:30, and we are combining those into just two total waves. So your sub 24 hour wave and your elite runners are going to be at 6 a.m. There's going to be a corral up at the front for approximately 60 athletes that submitted their resumes into the system, I guess, and then everyone else will be right behind them for that sub 24, and everyone else will be at 6:15 now. So there is no longer a 6:30 a.m. start. So choose either the 6 or the 6:15, depending on if you're a sub 24 hour runner or not. We'll touch base on that a little bit further in the guide, but if you take away one thing, that would be the thing to take away.
Yeah, definitely make sure you're there early and Don't miss your start time.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. So this year's race is a 2022 qualifying race for the Western States Endurance Run. Upon successful completion of the 100 mile in under 30 hours, you can put your name in the hat for the Western States Lottery, which should be coming up here in December. I think almost right after this race. It's one of the last qualifiers of the year.
Yeah, I think that their lottery is early December typically.
Yep. We will definitely be having a watch party for that. So what is new this year and pretty exciting is that this is now a golden ticket race for Western States as well. It's going to provide a bit more excitement up at the front of the field, and there's going to be the top 2 women and the top 2 men. They're going to have an automatic entry into the 2022 Western States 100 in case that either one of those runners is ineligible or does not choose to take the ticket. It will roll down to up to the 5th spot.
Yeah, and that is super exciting for the elite race here, which has always been super competitive, but just kind of adds to the stakes of that a little bit, you know?
Absolutely. And we will be following that race on race day. You can follow along on our social media channels. We do have a dedicated Javelina 100. Of course, that's with a couple J's out on front there. Javelina Jundred, as some would say. We don't talk like that. But you can follow along there, or we will be streaming live on our YouTube channel at Aravaipa Running. So be sure to subscribe to that channel, and we'll be coming to you live from the Javelina studios here in Arizona.
Yeah, and we'll actually be bringing coverage of more than just the Golden Ticket race. We'll be taking you from Golden Tickets all the way to the Golden Hour with over 30 hours of live coverage. So it's can't miss TV. You know?
Yeah, we're feeling like we were missing that live race coverage. So we're excited to be back.
Yeah.
So welcome. This is the 19th annual Javelina 100. We have a 100 mile, of course, a 100 kilometer, and there's a 31K night race, all presented by Hoka. So huge shout out to Hoka for their support of this, continued support of this event, and of course our race. I was going to say race partner, but we're not actual partners with Western States, but they also partner with the Western States Endurance Run. So very excited to have them. They're going to have a lot of extras this weekend. So your race location, we're out at McDowell Mountain Regional Park. This is the same park that the race was founded in 2003, and we are very excited to be back there again and thank the park for their continued support of this event as well. This event, of course, is organized by Aravaipa Running. We are bringing it to you since 2008, and a little bit of the history of this event. We won't go too deep into it, but it was founded by Phoenix ultra runner Jerry Kilgariff back in '03 as the party fun run 100 miler, and it has definitely kept that along the way.
Yeah, Jerry, just a quick note, was like, she created this event to basically troll everyone and thought that it would be funny. And it's turned out to be this just incredible, fun party in the desert. So, yeah, she's created something great, and we've been grateful to continue to put it on since 2008.
Absolutely. And it was really great. She stopped by our office just the other day and checked out kind of what was going on. And without the ability to take over this race back then in 2008, Aravaipa definitely wouldn't have been possible. So, huge shout out to her for, having that crazy idea. It's one of the things you think about on a long run. All right, let's touch base on some of our eco-responsibility. That's super important to us here at Aravaipa and for Javelina. The desert and the park out there is so beautiful. We want to take care of the landscape out there. So we do have a few initiatives that we will be enacting once again this year. So the event is cupless. It's been that way for a couple years, I believe, but you need to be sure that you are carrying your own cup, water bottles, hydration flasks, all that. We do have these. These will be available for sale at the Expo if you don't have one or didn't bring one or forgot it. You can also just use your water bottle as well. That's what I do oftentimes. So yeah, be sure to bring your cup. Trash. So littering is prohibited on this course, as it pretty much is everywhere, but we do practice leave no trace principles. So please carry any of your trash or waste to the next aid station, find a trash can, and we will haul it out of there for you, out of the desert. Recycling, we will have recycling at all aid stations and at Javelina headquarters. Just a reminder, no glass bottles in the park. So if you do want to bring some beverages, you can't bring your Topo Chicos. I'm sorry, Matt.
I know it's kind of disappointing, but, eco-responsibility comes before my addiction to Topo Chicos.
That's right. So grab your aluminum cans, are perfectly fine for whether that's your bubbly waters or your beer. So if you could help us with that, that would be really great. We definitely don't want to be picking up glass shards out there. TerraCycle. So we have taken the GU TerraCycle pledge. We are partnering with both of them to collect and upcycle all of your GU packets and wrappers. We will have receptacles at all aid stations. So ask for them if you don't see them out, but they should be pretty prominently displayed. We do collect all of those and send them in. We collect them kind of throughout the year. We've got a pretty large stash going here at the office.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about this initiative is these are items that are not typically recyclable. And so this initiative helps kind of up-recycle some of those things. And then any crews or pacers can actually collect them and take them to the GU tent at Javelina headquarters as well. So.
Love it. Shoe donation. We're partnering with Soul Sports this year, and we will be taking your old shoes off your hands. So if you have some that you want to dump off, you can bring them to the Expo at headquarters, or you can come to the store under the big tent this year. So you might want to wait until after the race to donate them. You might need them for those 100 miles.
Yeah, you never know.
But they will be donating them to various local charities, so they can have some more life in them.
Yeah, giving them to people who can still get some use out of them.
Absolutely. Next up, our schedule of events. So you can find this full schedule in the runner guide and also on the website, but a couple highlights this week. Today, the day we're filming this and posting this out there, this is Tuesday morning, October 26th. Tomorrow on Wednesday, we will have a group run, and it's sponsored by the Front Runners, Front Walkers Front Walkers of Phoenix. It will be at the start-finish line at McDowell Mountain Regional Park. So if you want to get a little sneak preview of how Javelina headquarters is shaping up, join us at 7 p.m. tomorrow. You will need a light, a headlamp, or a flashlight. Come on out. We'll be doing a couple different groups, about an hour run, and then heading over to Bone House in Fountain Hills. It's a local brewery.
Yeah, and I believe there are a lot of cool giveaways planned, and even some guests that will be attending this group run as well. So
Love it.
Should be a lot of fun.
On Thursday, October 28th, Javelina headquarters will open for RV and vehicle camping, no tents. And at 3:30 p.m., there will be a Javelina happy hour at Huss Brewing. So they've been our longtime partners with Aravaipa and Javelina. So if you are just arriving into town, you can head over to either their Tempe or Phoenix location and, grab a little Javelina happy hour in advance.
Yeah, they've got some great food there as well. So.
Awesome. Friday, October 29th. This will be when Javelina headquarters opens for your tent check-in. I know last year, because of COVID, we extended the whole event, including our camping, into Thursday. That won't be the case this year. So 7 a.m. is when you can arrive to set up your pop-up tents and your camping tents and everything else. So please be patient. There will obviously be a lot of people arriving that morning. There will be plenty of space and plenty of time to get all set up and kind of settled in at headquarters there. Your race expo this year, this is something new. It starts at 11 a.m. at Javelina headquarters. So in the past, we've had the luxury of using the La Puesta del Sol, which is on the Fort McDowell Indian Reservation, as part of our partnership with the Wekopa Resort. This year, it was not available for our weekend, and so we are now on site. Everything is in one spot. You just arrive and you're there, which I think will be a nice change, although that venue was pretty amazing for those of you that went there before. But from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., our expo will be open. So this is where you pick up your bib. You can also visit our Expo store and just kind of meet and greet with some of your fellow runners out there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of really cool Javelina merchandise, but also Aravaipa and Run Steep merchandise available for purchase. Stuff that is new, so that no one's seen before, really. So you'll definitely want to swing through the expo and check all of those things out.
Awesome. Freak Brothers Pizza and Huss Brewing will also be open starting at noon at headquarters. So if you want to get some food or enjoy a beverage before you kick things off on Saturday, you can definitely do that. There will be a Friday Family Fright Night presented in the Hoka camp starting at 5 p.m. So there'll be a number of activities over there. There will be a Javelina Hopeful Kids Run kicking off at 5:30 p.m. And then there's going to be a movie showing of The Wizard of Oz for any kids that are out there that want to check that out on Friday evening.
Adults are also welcome to come watch Wizard of Oz as well.
Absolutely. And that goes along with our theme, Return to Oz. We're coming back to the desert.
Yeah, back and better than ever, right?
That's right. We will have lights out and quiet hours at headquarters starting at 8 p.m. There's a lot of people running 100 miles on Saturday and 100 kilometers, so we all want to give everyone a chance to get some rest and some sleep. So we would ask that if you could quiet down around 8 p.m., that would be super helpful.
Yeah, just be respectful of others and let everyone kind of go about their pre-race routine in peace.
Now we're on to race day Saturday morning, 4:30 a.m. We will open our race day bib pickup. So if you cannot make it on Friday, you have a late flight in, not a problem. You can pick up everything on race day starting at 4:30 a.m. Your drop bags must be on site in the appropriate area for Jackass Junction by 5:30 a.m. And we would, I don't know. I think 100K, if you can get them there early as well, that would be appreciated. But yeah, 5:30 there should be a large area where you can drop off your drop bags. You can do so the night before as well, but make sure you get your drop bags. There's just one drop bag location on course at Jackass Junction. There is a separate area that will be marked out. They're under the permanent ramadas near the aid station, and that's where your drop bags will go for Javelina headquarters. So if you want to put a cooler or a bag of clothes, if you know, didn't set up your own tent in the village this year, or if you're vehicle camping across the way in the competitive lot, you can have your own drop bag that you will access right through the start finish, and it'll be chalked off over in that direction. We talked about this at the beginning of the briefing, but we want to reiterate that this is a change. We will have just 2 waves of the 100-mile start, and that has been moved up slightly. So 6 a.m., we have your 100-mile wave 1 start. This is your elite wave, which will be in a corral at the front. There are approximately 60 athletes, 30 men, 30 women. And then we will have our sub 24 hours. At 6:15 will be our wave 2 start, and that will be everyone else. So that has moved up 15 minutes. There is now no longer a 6:30 a.m. start, so be sure to start either at 6 a.m. or 6:15. And there is no pre-assigned waves. When you did register for the race, we did ask you for which wave you'd like to be in. So please, I guess, follow that or seed yourself in the appropriate wave.
Yeah. And if you take nothing else from this video, remember this, that the waves are at 6 and 6:15 and that there is no 6:30 wave.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how the waves work, we went to a wave format a couple years ago just to help spread the field. You know, after the first quarter mile through the parking lot, which is super fun, you do narrow down to a single track basically immediately, and it just gets pretty backed up. So we want a chance to spread it out and don't feel like you have to be in that first wave. I would say if you're even wavering at all, just wait for the 6:15. It's actually kind of fun. You get to spectate and watch everyone head out, the elites at 6. You get a few extra minutes to kind of get ready and get set, and then you can head out at 6:15, and the trail will be cleared out and ready for you. So I would recommend, if you are planning on running 24 hours or over, if that is your projected time, I would say wait for the 6:15 wave start. All right, moving on. Next up, we have our 7 a.m. 100-kilometer start. There's just one start for that one. We will have some more of our food vendors opening back up. Freak Brothers will be cooking by 11 a.m., and Huss will also be opening up their beer garden at headquarters. For you Jackass Night Trail 31K runners, we have 2 waves for you as well. You can start picking up your bibs on race day starting at 4:30 p.m. There's 2 waves for that, but they're a little more spread out. So one at 6 o'clock, one at 6:30 p.m. And then we expect our first 100-mile finisher around 7 p.m. for the men, and it would be closer to 9 p.m. for the women, plus or minus probably 15 minutes.
And then just one thing to note on that Jackass Night Run's bib pickup is you do need to have your bib picked up by 6 p.m. if you are going to pick it up on race day. So even if you're in the 6:30 wave, make sure you have your bib picked up by 6 p.m. there.
Exactly. And you're going to want to be there early anyways because it's just a good time. Costumes essentially required for the Jackass Night Trail. So show up with your best costumes. On Sunday, looking ahead to the schedule, your Loop 4 cutoff for the 100-mile and your Loop 2 cutoff for the 100K. So that's finishing those loops and starting your next loops. So either way you want to look at it, you need to do that by 6 a.m., 24 hours in, and that would be 6:15 for those of you that start at the second wave. Our sub 24-hour buckle cutoff, of course, would either be 6 or 6:15 as well. We will have, well, it says awards ceremony at 10. Oh, yeah, that's right. 10 a.m. is our awards ceremony at Hoka Camp. So I know that is before the end of the race, but we do gather up and give out our awards in advance of beginning our golden hour. And golden hour will begin I love how this says 12 a.m. cutoff here in the briefing. Just a quick note in the schedule, you do have until noon or 12:15 p.m. for the full 30 hours. So depending on which wave you started in, you will get 30 full hours to complete the race. Our Runner Expo, we touched a little bit on this. We will have some amazing vendors in addition to our store and bib pickup. So some of our featured vendors include Hoka. We have our Aravaipa Running and Run Steep Get High apparel within our store. Rabbit will be out there, Goo, Kagala. We have Run Gooder, Squirrels Nut Butter, and Soul Sports. So Soul Sports is coming out this year with some additional products and things that you might have forgotten on your trip. So some kind of basic essentials that you might need for your race.
Yeah, definitely going to be super useful having them out there for the runners in case you did forget anything. You don't have to even leave McDowell Mountain Regional Park. You can get it right there.
Absolutely. There also will be some other food trucks and a DJ, so check all that out. Howie Stern will be on site at the Expo taking runner pre-race photos, and they will be free for all participants. Come out, get your picture taken as you're prepping for your 100-miler or 100K. Those will be available at howiestern.com. Let's see, what else do we got here? We talked about Soul Sports Running Zone. We also talked about the schedule already for the Expo. Let's jump onto the course. So your 100-mile course, it incorporates 5 loops in McDowell Mountain Regional Park on the Pemberton, Shalmo, Cinch trails. Your first loop is a bit longer and different than the next 4 loops. So loop 1, it's around 22 miles, and you will take the Escondido Trail. So there will be a signed junction just past the Rattlesnake Ranch aid station. So that's your 3rd aid station on the loop, and you'll go through a big arch that says Rattlesnake Ranch, and keep in mind that you have an important turn just ahead. It'll be a left turn onto Escondido. That's the only time that you will take that one. Our course markings for the event. So we like to use this orange with black polka dot ribbon. If you're watching our video, you can see it right here. So that is what you want to follow. We also have this blue and white checkerboard. This is going to be on the wrong way trails. There are a lot of trail junctions out at McDowell. There's a ton of amazing trails. Quick shout out, if you want to explore some of the other trails in the park, you should check out the McDowell Mountain Frenzy coming up in December. And we also have these pin flags that will be used, especially in some of the wash sections. So pin flags, and they have some reflective tape on them, and that will light up really nice at night. There will also be some colored signs like these. Well, this is a drop bag return sign, but right here, and oftentimes they will have reflectors on here as well. So keep an eye out for all the signs. Everything will be signed really, really well. Something to note this year, just like last year, we have moved to a single direction on the race course. So all loops will be done in the clockwise direction. I'm gonna check my math on that one. I think it checks out.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
All right. Clockwise, you're going to be hitting Coyote Camp first, then Jackass Junction, then Rattlesnake Ranch, and then back to the start finish. Now, when you come through the parking lot at headquarters, where all of the tents are, where your crew is, where all the vendors in the village is, you're running all the way in, back to the start finish line. You will do a quick about face right around the outside of the start finish banner, and you will run back out through the parking lot the same exact way. And then you will continue on to start your next loop just as you did. So last year, for those of you that were here, we actually just did a single loop through and eliminated the out and back through the parking lot. That was a COVID restriction. And so now we're back to our normal all the way through and then turn around and all the way back out. So you will have a chance, if you have a crew who's set up in the parking lot or you have a camping tent on site, you'll have a chance to see them 2 times going through that parking lot. It's super important that you cross that timing mat after each loop. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, I think it's clear.
All right.
Hopefully no one messes that up because that's super important.
Yep. You want to make sure you get credit for your laps, that we know you're on course, and you go all the way in, all the way back out the same way. Let's see. The race begins at the four peak staging area. So just as you come into the park, if it's your first time, it'll just be on the right-hand side. Our event parking is going to be across the street, so in the competitive track, and that's also where all of our vehicle camping is going to be this year. I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit more. All right, our aid stations. There are a total of 4 aid stations for this event. Javelina headquarters is, of course, at the start-finish line. They have a large footprint there. If you do need water or anything else, even when you arrive on Friday, please don't hesitate to head over there and ask them. There should be some people there. We have a lot of your standard ultra foods, so sweet snacks, salty, fruit, chips, soda, potatoes, bean burritos, PB&J sandwiches, soup at night and throughout the race. We also have several meals that happen throughout the event, so be sure when you come in from a lap, head on over there, ask them what they're serving up, and they'll be happy to help you out with that.
Yeah, they got a little bit of everything at the aid station for everyone there, you know?
Absolutely. What are your distances between aid stations? There is an aid station chart that is part of your runner guide. We're talking about 4 miles from Javelina headquarters to your first aid station at Coyote Camp. From there to Jackass Junction, it's 6.5. And Rattlesnake Ranch, to Rattlesnake Ranch, it's 5.2. And then that first loop will be 6.6. Every subsequent loop, just 3.7 from Rattlesnake to the end. So not too far between aid stations, but in the heat of the day, make sure you have plenty of water capacity with you, especially for, I think, the stretches between Coyote Camp and Jackass. That's going to be your biggest one. It's long. There's the biggest climb on the course. I know there's not a ton of climbing at this race, but it can be deceiving.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of rollers, too, on that backside.
Well, and especially when you get out into, like, the middle of the day when, it's warm and you're just in the sun.
Yep.
You're just fully exposed. It's definitely important to make sure, especially on those longer stretches, that you're taking enough water with you so that you can keep moving forward.
All right, let's take a quick look at our course records. For the men, it was set back in 2017 by Patrick Regan in 13:01:14. For our women, Devin Yanko back in 2015, 14:52:14. She is returning this year, and that was back on the old course. I think that might have been the last year on the old course. For our 100K, our 100K men's course records, 8:32:41 by Makai Clemens in 2017, and Courtney DeWalter in 2016 ran an 8:48:45. Few of our race rules. These are very important, so please take note. No drones allowed. This includes crew, spectators, and runners, and you could be subject to disqualification, so please respect that. The only drones that you may hear or see would be the ones that our team is flying with permission from the park. We touched on this before, but littering strictly prohibited, so any sort of organic waste as well. We need all of that taken to an aid station or just left at an aid station. Don't even leave there with it with you. No pets. Pets not allowed at Javelina headquarters, and we have no exceptions for that. So if you do have any sort of a furry friend, maybe even a scaly friend, please have someone watch them, or find some other accommodations, but none are allowed at headquarters. We touched on this as well. No glass bottles. And please, this is a closed course, so you must follow the course as marked in the direction of the race. It's kind of nice having them all in one direction. There should be a lot less, I headed out in the wrong way on the wrong lap, because there are people coming and going. It does get a bit confusing in the past, but that shouldn't be an issue this year. If you do see someone coming at you, you might want to turn them around.
Yeah, definitely. I think the single direction will hopefully help lessen any confusion. And like you just said, if you see someone going the wrong way, try and turn them around or make sure that they're okay.
Awesome. Please respect all volunteers and park staff. If you do have some, I guess, feedback for us, you can feel free to reach out to one of our staff members, but we do ask that you be respectful. We're here to help you and make sure you have an amazing experience. So, yes, we are happy to help where we can. Cutoffs. Cutoffs will be enforced based upon your gun time, and we will have no times listed past the 30-hour cutoff. So essentially, if you're newer to running in general and don't understand the difference between a gun and a chip time, the gun time would be when they say go at the start line, or if it was Western States, when they fire that shotgun into the air. So right at 6 o'clock, it doesn't matter when you personally cross that start line. 6 a.m. is the start, and then you have 30 hours from that moment to cross that finish line. Official time will be based upon your gun time as well.
Yeah, and that will also lead to how the buckle awards are distributed. So all buckle awards will also be based off the chip time, which is, again, when you cross the actual timing mat at the start.
Yeah, that was kind of a couple different things. So
Oh, yeah.
I think you said the opposite there, but on here we've got the buckle awards based upon your chip time.
Yeah.
So I guess you could potentially have a few extra seconds to get that buckle. So
Yeah, get that.
don't cut it that
buckle.
close though.
Yeah.
just make sure you got plenty of time. So I guess it is possible to get a buckle and not be listed as a finisher.
Yeah.
Don't be that person, please. Trekking poles, not allowed except for special circumstances. There's just a lot of people out here at this race, so if you do need that, please reach out to our race director, Jubilee, at aravaiparunning.com. Music with headphones is allowed, but please no loudspeakers on course. As much as it is a party, there are times where we want people to just enjoy the beauty of the desert out there and their own race. If you do have headphones, we do ask, be mindful. There are still people on mountain bikes out there and other things happening, wildlife, etc. Let's talk about the weather. We should probably pull up the weather forecast. Might be a good idea. Do you want to get that pulled up maybe for Rio Verde, Arizona? Our average highs, we're talking about 82 and 53, but we're going to pull that up right now. Just a couple things relating to the weather. There is no shade on this course. It is completely exposed. You got that update for us?
Yeah, it's looking like in Rio Verde, the high Saturday is 84 and the low is 57.
So yeah, today it's actually a pretty nice day. Today and tomorrow we're in the 70s for a high. Unfortunately, that's going to ramp up Thursday and Friday. 88 degrees in Rio Verde, meaning Phoenix is probably going to be over 90. And Rio Verde at 84 means it's going to be hot year. So be prepared for that. Come with your ice bandanas. Come with plenty of hydration. Be sure you're utilizing the water and the ice at the aid stations to help cool your body down. That is such an important thing. But also keep in mind that there can be a dramatic temperature swing at night. So this always catches people off guard. They are out there in the sun and the heat all day. They head out on that afternoon loop, and by the time they get back around, it's dark, and they become chilled. So I would say if you're heading out on your night loop, grab a layer with you just in case.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the drastic change in temperatures can definitely catch you off guard, especially as hot as you will feel. So I know for some people who are in warm climates, 84 might not seem too bad, but when you're just fully cooking in the sun, 84 it's a lot different here in the desert. And once you experience that, and then it drops down during the night, that temperature shift can definitely feel a lot cooler than a traditional 54 degrees might feel.
As far as carrying water capacity, we recommend a minimum of 50 ounces for loop 1 and 70 ounces for loops 2 and 3 through the heat of the day. And just keep in mind, if you are using water to douse your head or keep your shirt wet. You might even need more than that. So it's never a bad idea. I've had great success myself at some really hot races. I remember the Angeles Crest 100 one year. It was 100 degrees in the canyons, and I carried, I think, 2 bottles to drink out of and 2 bottles just to douse myself, keep myself wet in between those aid stations. So please keep that in mind. Take care of yourselves out there. Slow it down in the heat of the day, and you can pick things back up at night when it cools down, and it's just an amazing night out there. We just kind of talked about a lot of those. We will have sunscreen as well out there. Apply that if you'd like to. And then ice. Ice is available at all aid stations, and we like to say unlimited ice, maybe within a little bit of reason, but essentially, we've planned to have a ton of ice out at these aid stations for you. Please use it. Please keep yourself cool. I think we've seen higher finish rates because of our abundance of ice on this course. So just please use it.
Yeah,
Take care
definitely.
of yourselves.
Again, like what you just said, make sure you're taking care of yourself, especially during the heat of the day.
There are some great other tips and expansion on what we just talked about in the runner guide. So if you want to learn more about kind of the intricacies of this event, this is kind of a unique course, especially for those of you coming from areas that have already seen some snow on the ground. Your acclimation from the summer might be wearing off. Keep that in mind as well. I also think there's a bit of a heat effect due to the nature of the granite and gravel out there. It seems to heat up and like reflect that heat back at you. So there's something to keep in mind. It can be a bit deceiving out there. Let's see. Race day, your park entry pass. So McDowell Mountain Regional Park, to support their ongoing operations, they do charge a $7 entry fee per vehicle per day. You will have one vehicle entry included in your race registration, and that will be available for pickup at the Expo or at the park. Additional crew, pacer, or spectator vehicles will need to pay. You can also pick up an annual pass. If you do frequent the parks, there's a whole park system out here. You can purchase an annual pass, and you'll get into all these amazing parks throughout the year. Runner drop-off zone. This is something that we used to have. We don't have this anymore. So when you arrive on race morning, you will be required to walk. Could be a quarter mile, possibly slightly more. We will be parking in the competitive track. There also will be some parking along the sides of the main park road. There should be some parking attendants, but we do ask when you park on race morning, and if you're parking along the main park road, keep in mind you are out there running for 30 hours, but there are still people visiting the park all weekend, and we would ask that you park over that white line. So make sure you're completely off that road. If your vehicle is at any part over that white line, your car will be towed. We can't have any obstructions, whether that's for regular park visitors or emergency vehicles. There will be no parking in the Four Peaks lot on race day. And in fact, the only vehicles that are parking in the Four Peaks lot will be the RV campers. Even our vehicle camping this year, due to the sheer number of tent campers, will all be across the street in the competitive lot. Don't worry, you're still on site. And it actually will probably be a little bit quieter over there for you to get some great sleep. But you'll just have to walk across to the Four Peaks lot on race day. Bring your drop bags over there, set them up, and you should be all set and good to go. Anything to add on that?
No, just follow the rules. Right?
All right.
It's pretty simple.
Absolutely. Let's see here. See if I'm just missing anything here. There will likely be an option to unload some equipment on Friday in the Four Peaks lot. So just follow the directions of the lot attendants, and they should be able to help you out. You'll likely unload and then have to drive right over to the competitive track. We just don't have a ton of parking in that area. It's filled with the race village. Let's see, we did talk about our wave starts, but we'll reiterate it one more time. There's just 2 starts on race morning, 6 and 6:15. There's no longer a 6:30 a.m. 100-mile start, so pick one of those 2 to start. Awards for the event. I don't have examples here. We just have our little skeleton friend, but 100-mile and 100K buckles for you. You'll be getting a different award for the 31K. We talked about our cutoff times already. Let's talk about sun and moon. Civil twilight, 6:20 a.m. Saturday. If you are starting at 6, there will just be a faint glow in the distance, so you will need a light to start this race. It's just for a little bit. The official sunrise is 6:45 a.m. and our sunset is 5:38 p.m. So that is important to know. Check your phone when you land or drive over here to Arizona to make sure you have the right time zone. We're mountain time all the time. We don't have daylight savings or anything out here in Arizona, so keep that in mind. Our moonrise is at 2 a.m. and it's just a 25% visibility, so you basically won't have much of a moon this year to help you out at night. That's that. Let's talk about our medical team. We've had MedStar Solutions with us for quite a number of years now. I would say maybe 5 or 6 years. They will have their main setup at headquarters. We will also have roaming medical as well as some medical at some of our other aid stations as well. If you do have some sort of an emergency on the trail, a medical question of any kind, we have a direct line for you to call. So if you want to program this into your phone in advance, that would be a great idea. It is also on your bib. So if you don't want to write down this number, it's 480-269-4169. You can just look on your race bib, which we have one of them right here. It is right there. Same phone number, 480-269-4126. Uh-oh. That's a different number. Well, call one of those 2 numbers. I would say call the number on your bib. We will verify that, but yeah, call that number. We'll get our runner guide updated.
Yeah, I would stick to the number on the bib.
Stick to the number on the bib. If something does change, we will make sure that we get that out to you prior to the race beginning. But yeah, essentially, we like to filter all of our medical issues on course through our medical provider, MedStar Solutions. This helps to cut down confusion and to provide better service for you out on the course. They have a holistic vision of the whole course. They know what's happening at all times on the whole course. If you're calling 911 for something, it's going to initiate a whole separate system. Now, with that being said, if you do spot something that warrants a true medical emergency, do not hesitate to call 911. I'm not telling you not to, but I'm saying for as much as possible, if you could just call MedStar first, they can probably quickly assess, and if they need to call 911, they can do that as well. COVID-19, let's go over that a little bit. Last year, we had some major restrictions. There are less this year. So when you signed up for this event, everyone agreed to not attend this year's event if you display any COVID-19 symptoms within 14 days. So fever, cough, difficulty breathing, headache, body aches, loss of taste, sore throat, runny nose, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. So please, if you can help us out with that, be super helpful. Mask update. Masks are not required for attendees of the event this year, but we do highly encourage it if you are unvaccinated or high risk. If you do choose to attend, we would ask that you do mask. And it's, of course, up to you if you would like to wear a mask. You are more than welcome to. We will ask our volunteers to wear a mask when they are working in our aid stations. See if we have anything else on that. If runners do drop from the race, we will ask that you wear a mask on any sort of a car ride back from the remote aid station. We will have masks for you. And if you decide not to attend this year, I guess you had until Monday of this week to defer. So thank you for your cooperation in that. Timing, let's talk about that real quick. Timing, you will have a timing chip on the back of your race bib. It is right here on the side of your bib. Please don't, I know runners love to fold their bibs. You could probably do a little bit of folding, but do not fold that chip. That is going to be how we keep track of you and you get your official race result. What else on that? We will have live results. They will be linked on our website. You must cross that timing gateway once when you start the race, and then once every time you come back from a lap. We will also have timing checkpoints at all aid stations to track you, and that will be available for your crew to check out and kind of keep track of you on the loop.
Yeah, and I think that reiterates a point that we had made earlier. When you come into headquarters, make sure you go all the way through the parking lot, across the mat at the start-finish area, and then loop back out the direction you came to start your next loop.
Exactly. So yeah, you will have those 2 chances to see your crew get resupplied. Live stream. We are excited to bring a live stream this year through our Steep Life Media arm. It will be broadcast on the Aravaipa Running YouTube channel. So like and subscribe to that. We are going from golden ticket to golden hour. So we are going to be focusing not the entire first half of the broadcast, but a good part of it on that golden ticket race, featuring some of those athletes. Very exciting going for those golden tickets, but also keeping an eye on the rest of the festivities and stories that are unfolding throughout the event, and then taking you all the way to the exciting golden hour finish where some of you out there will be pushing it down to the wire to grab that buckle.
Yeah, I mean, this is super exciting that we're going to be able to provide insights into so many of these just amazing stories, right? Whether it's stories of the elite field that people are gonna get to see unfold, or some of these human interest stories that we have lined up. As an example, Andy Jones-Wilkins coming back after finishing second all the way back in 2007, I believe. This is his first time back. And so there's just a ton of really awesome stories that we're excited to share with everyone as the race continues to progress on all the way to the golden hour.
Absolutely. We will have some of our amateur radio operators out at aid stations, which is a public service provided by Maricopa County Emergency Communications Group. We wanted to shout them out and thank them for being out there. They've had a bit of a hiatus from some of our events over the last couple years due to COVID, but they're back out here. Crews. So I think one of the greatest things about crewing the Javelina 100 is you don't have to drive anywhere. And that's kind of unique for a lot of 100-milers. I know some bigger ones like Western States and Angeles Crest, you're driving all over the mountains. And I think it's oftentimes a tougher job than running the race. This one might be the exception. I think it could be more fun than running the race.
Yeah, I mean, you get to enjoy the desert party for a large extent of the event, right? You're only crewing during certain time blocks, and the rest of the time you just get to enjoy the festivities.
And so kind of to expand upon that, crewing is only allowed at Javelina headquarters, so please, don't wander yourself or drive out to any of the other aid stations. Those are reserved just for staff and volunteers. You, of course, are welcome to get out onto the trails. The park is pretty amazing, and we would encourage you to enjoy it while you're out here. If you would like to set up a pop-up canopy, 10 by 10, we encourage this. It provides more shade, with these 85-degree temperatures out there. Crews, you have to take care of yourselves as well. Just being there is going to be a taxing ordeal. So, yeah, set up some pop-ups if you got them. Share, make some friends. We will have an outlined area when you arrive on Friday to set those up. And when in doubt, please just ask one of our staff members. They will be on site helping, but there should be plenty of room for all of those to set up. We would ask that you stake down your tent. We can get some breezes. In the past, what has happened, people have used rocks from the desert. We would ask you not to do that. If you must do that, return them from where you got them, because I know it will likely happen, even though I'm saying this. I'm now probably encouraging it, but I will say I personally every year have to drive around that parking lot and pick up hundreds, if not what feels like thousands of rocks, throw them in our pickup and deposit them back in the desert. So if you could all just help us out, bring some stakes, use the stakes. If a rock happens to find its way near your campsite, please return it to the desert before you leave. Aid station food and drinks. These are for runners and active pacers only. So please plan to bring your own food. There are plenty of grocery stores in Fountain Hills before you make your way out to the park. We'll also have several food trucks if you would prefer to purchase on site. This race is rated R. Keep that in mind. There may be some explicit music played. There may be some costumes out here that are a little risque. So we like to have fun out here. We like to have some family aspects, but this is definitely a bit of a party out here. So just a fair warning. Leave no trace. We talked a little bit about this. Let's see. I don't want to reiterate too much of this stuff. Using the bathroom in the desert, especially near headquarters, I will say, please don't just go and pee in the desert. Use the on-site facilities. We have plenty of facilities there. This is specifically for crews. Use the facilities. They are there. End of story.
Yeah. Keep the desert nice and clean.
Exactly. Again, we'll have food vendors, coffee cart, beer garden on site and available for all you crews. Is this still in the crew section? Drop bags. Just to reiterate for crews, drop bags. There's one on course at Jackass Junction that we will drive out there. There are no drop bags at Coyote or Rattlesnake, but there is a drop bag location at headquarters. So if you don't have a crew, that's a great spot to put it. And then there is should be a sign like this. There will be a return drop bag area at Jackass Junction. There should be a large cardboard bin. So on your fifth and final lap, just drop your drop bag in that. And I would say typically within probably an hour or two, those will be back where you drop them off at headquarters. We like to try and get those back to you, but the rest of the drop bags will be back by 10 a.m. on Sunday. Let's talk about pacers. So pacers are allowed at this race after 3 loops or at sunset, whichever comes first. So if you are, I guess, a little bit of a slower runner, you could pick them up after 2 laps. If it is, at sunset, feel free to pick them on up. Pacers for 100K can join after 2 loops, and you can only have 1 pacer at a time. No pacers on bicycles, and of course no pets running with you. And there's only 1 spot to pick up and drop off a pacer. That is at headquarters. So there's no way to run out to an aid station to pick someone up. We ask that you make those transitions at the start-finish line. We will require that pacers wear a pacer bib, and those are available on site at the Expo on Friday, or you can do it at Pacer Central at the store at headquarters. Let's talk about dropping from the race. So you must notify the timing tent if you drop from the race. So even if you say you drop at a remote, you get a ride back to the start-finish line, go to the timing tent. It is right next to the start-finish line, and tell our timer, Mike Melton, that you are done. Tell him your best excuse, whatever you got. But it is super important for us just to keep track of who is on course, who isn't. And if you don't, you're going to be getting lots of phone calls and text messages from us pretty much relentlessly. I think Matt's going to he might give you a call.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I mean, this is one of the ways that we know that you are safe, right? If we don't see your bib crossing any aid stations over a number of time, and you haven't let us know that you've dropped out, we don't really know what's going on. And so then we have to try and find you, which means I might have to call you, and I don't want to have to do that. So make sure you go to the timing tent if you drop out.
Absolutely. We have a bit of a tradition here at Javelina, a last lap bracelet. When you come in for your, heading out on your 5th and final loop for the 100-mile, we will have these bracelets for you. So just ask for it if you don't get it. That's it. Let's see here. All right, let's talk a little bit more about headquarters. We've kind of hinted at what's going to be available there. Freak Brothers Pizza, we mentioned some of their hours earlier. They are cooking off and on throughout the weekend. They'll have all kinds of pizza, cash and card accepted. Gypsy Cup is back with us again. They're a full-service cafe, Meals on Wheels. They have a coffee trailer, so they've got espresso drinks, coffee. They also have 3 cold brew flavors, 3 nitro flavors. Hello. Find them at the start-finish line starting Friday morning. Definitely going to be hitting them up.
Yeah, you're going to probably have to try each of the nitro flavors, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get a bigger cup. They also accept cash and credit cards. We will also have our beer garden supporting the front runners and front walkers of Phoenix. They are a LGBTQ plus community of runners here in the Phoenix area since 1992, and we're excited to support them in their athletic activities, creating a safe space and inclusive space. The beer garden will be open Friday at noon, Saturday at 10 a.m., and you can purchase those from Huss Brewing. Shout out to them. They donate all the beer for this every year to raise money for different charity partners that we have each year. $5 for a beer or 3 for $12. So there's no 6-pack price. I guess
buy in bulk.
Yeah, exactly. Our Javelina store will be open on site. You can pick up such things as the Javelina High Class Gooder glasses. These things are amazing. I am really stoked about the design this year. It's got our little Misfit crew on the side. I'm like trying to check it out. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Pick up your pair of Gooders. There's all kinds of other amazing merchandise.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Definitely don't miss the opportunity to check out the store. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff there.
Awesome. Did we talk much about camping? I guess we didn't go deep into it. So camping opens up Friday morning. So 7 a.m. is when you can start to arrive. So please don't arrive before then to set up your camping tent or check into your rented camping tent. I don't know. I'm trying to read through this. I'm sorry. Excuse me for a second. There's a lot of information here. So vehicle and RVs, you can actually check in starting Thursday at noon. So RVs, you can get in there a little bit earlier just with the size of the RVs. I guess if you can arrive early, that'd be great. So we can get you parked and kind of settled in. Boom, 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 boom. So up until 3 p.m., you can drive into the Four Peaks lot and drop off your camping supplies. After that, only vehicles. All right, well, this is a little contradictory. Whew. So I believe in the runner guide, I'm going to dissect this a little bit here. Only vehicles used for sleeping will be permitted to enter, but in fact, all vehicle camping is now across the street in the competitive lot. So that might be a little bit of a change, but that is what Jubilee referred me to as the information. So essentially, Friday morning, come set up your crew tent. You can set up your camping tent. You can check into your rented tent. All vehicle camping is across the street in the competitive lot this year. I think that's about it. Like if I had to sum it up, that's it right there. Everything else should flow pretty well once you arrive on site.
Just the quick elevator pitch.
Boom.
I like it.
Let's see. Let's talk about some of our awards. We've got this little guy right here, but there will be quite a few cool awards this year. We do give podium awards for our top 3 in the 100 mile and 100K for men and women. We have also some Misfit Awards. I think it's important to go through these. Some people don't know that this happens and that they might even be eligible for these, but there is something you can do to earn these on race weekend. And just know that the judge of these awards is your race director, Jubilee Page. So take that information do with it what you will. But there is a Best Costume Award. We will have top 3. There's a podium for the costumes for men and for women. There's no rules for it, but if there were some points awarded, and they are awarded to determine your winners, the duration of your costume being worn and remaining intact, that is going to be considered. The most outlandish, so essentially cannot believe that you ran 100 miles in that costume. Your attitude, your cleverness will also be factored in. We do ask that you submit your name and costume title ahead on the website. So I believe there's a link. It's part of the challenge. You might have to find that link. Yeah, take a look out for that. But, I mean, if you're making a splash, you're going to get noticed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just bring your A game in terms of costume design, and I think you'll be all good.
Awesome. First Virgin. This is the fastest 100-mile finisher who has never attempted or finished Javelina 100 before. Your best team finish. So this is for the lowest combined 100-mile finish time of your team. A team is comprised of 2 runners. This is not a relay, but it could be close friends, like best friends or husband and wife. Maybe it's a parent and a child or siblings. There should also be a sign up for this one in advance. Make sure you get on there if you want to compete in the team award. Dead last, that would be this award right here. This is for our last official finisher in the 100 mile. They get the Grim Reaper. I just love this. And he's got some money area on the front too. That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that.
I love it.
Another tradition at the Javelina 100, we do have a Best Ass Award. So essentially, Moon the race director. That's it. Keep it rated G, people.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Just
it's pretty simple.
Show your cheeks, you know?
Youngest, oldest finishers. We would like to do. I'm not just going to read that. Yeah, basically self-explanatory. Our youngest, oldest finishers.
You're going to get an award.
Get at it. Jerry K. Most Memorable. This is named after the race founder, Jerry Kilgariff. This is just kind of a subjective award based upon something memorable. So, yeah. I don't really have much more to say, but we love our Jerry K. Awards. My mom got it one year when she ran the 100K. She's very proud of that. I think it's her most prized possession.
Well, yeah, possibly. I mean, it's a great award that, again, helps share some of those memorable moments from the Javelina 100 or various races that maybe would go unnoticed otherwise.
Absolutely. 5-time finisher award. These are jackets given out to those folks. So if you come back year after year, it's definitely something to look forward to. Finally, we do want to thank all of our sponsors for this event. Of course, Hoka, our presenting sponsor, really upping the vibe and everything out here at this race. So we really want to thank them and what they've done for the sport, just continuing to inspire so many different people to take to the trails, push for their goals, and connect with one another out there in the community. We also have Rabbit. Rabbit is providing our runner shirts again this year. I am wearing a previous year edition, but there will be a new one this year for all of you. Goo. We will have goo on course. I didn't mention that before, I don't think. But gels and hydration will be at our aid stations along the course. So we've got Roctane drink mix that will be out at the aid stations and some goos as well. Probably not enough to fuel every runner along your journey, but definitely to help supplement or give you something to try out there. Kagala Adventure Light. These are amazing lights, probably the gold standard in 100 and 200 mile races now. It provides you just such an even, wide spread of light. I've used it, I think, all of my 200s that I've run, quite a few of the 100s I've run as well. And the nice thing about those single loop directions is you won't have those blinding Kagala lights in your face anymore that we hear. These things are so bright that we've actually gotten complaints, which is kind of shocking. But
yeah, it's going to be everyone working together to illuminate the trail instead of having the blinding Kagala lights in your face.
Of course, our local friends, Squirrel's Nut Butter out of Flagstaff. It is the all-natural anti-chafe restorative skin salve. This stuff works miracles for so many of us, prevents chafing out there. Check them out. I believe that everyone will be getting a sample, and they will also be out there with the big tubs right by the start-finish line. So.
Love it. Love it. Don't forget to lube, right?
And we also want to continue to thank Gooder for their support of this event. It gets sunny out there, and you want to protect your eyes and look good doing it. So again, you can pick up the limited edition Javelina High Class glasses at the Expo. They're also available online right now. There's a select quantity. They're going quick. So if you can't make it to the event and you're watching this race briefing, we applaud you that you made it this far.
It means we must have been doing a pretty good job if people have tuned in this long, right?
Well, I've reached the end of the runner guide. There are probably things we've missed. I didn't get to show off all of our race bibs, but your 100-mile bib is this blue. 100K is this yellow-orange, and then our Jackass Night Trail is this purple. But if you do have any more questions, there are a couple of great places to get an answer. You can, of course, call our office. We do have a Javelina 100 group on Facebook. That is an excellent place. Shout out. There's been a great discussions on there throughout the last month on all kinds of things Javelina 100 related. So go check that out. You can join the conversation. Ask any other questions. There's tons of knowledgeable people to help answer them. You can also join us on our Discord channel for Aravaipa Running. We've been linking that out this week as well on our social media. I'm in there most days answering questions, so please drop in there. Other than that, I think that's about it. This has been your 2021 Javelina 100 race briefing. Thank you so much. We are excited to see all of you in just a couple of days. Safe travels. Look out for one another out there.
And have fun.
All right. We'll see you back here from the Javelina studios for our live stream, 5 a.m. Saturday morning. Best of luck, everyone. We'll see you then.